227 Show 2025 transcends conventional sitcom boundaries by weaving a narrative tapestry that is as much about human psychology and social dynamics as it is about comedy, immediately immersing viewers in a world where each apartment, hallway, and communal space carries the weight of personal histories and collective memory. The series opens with a meticulously crafted sequence in which the camera glides through the familiar urban complex, a visual essay on domesticity and neighborhood life, capturing nuances such as the flicker of television screens in different apartments, the sound of a dog barking in the distance, and the faint aroma of coffee that seems to permeate the morning air, evoking a sensory realism that draws the audience in. Central to the narrative is Mary Jenkins, whose evolution from the witty matriarch of earlier seasons into a figure of nuanced authority and empathy provides a lens through which the show explores the intergenerational transmission of values, fears, and resilience. Early scenes depict her navigating intricate social negotiations within her family, deftly balancing humor, moral insight, and emotional labor, which the series portrays with both subtlety and precision, emphasizing that heroism often emerges not from grand gestures but from sustained, quiet acts of care and mediation. One particularly compelling sequence involves Mary confronting the ethical ramifications of her son's decision to pursue an unconventional career path, a storyline that delves into themes of autonomy, expectation, and intergenerational tension, with dialogue that is sharp, reflective, and layered with subtext. The show excels at drawing humor from situational irony and character-driven quirks, rather than relying solely on punchlines, creating a comedy that is both intellectually engaging and emotionally resonant. Supporting characters such as Albert, the well-intentioned but frequently bumbling uncle, provide a counterpoint to Mary's competence, serving as both comic relief and as a mirror for human vulnerability. Albert's subplot involving an ill-fated DIY project that threatens to flood the building exemplifies the series' ability to merge slapstick humor with exploration of responsibility, risk, and social negotiation. 227 Show 2025 also distinguishes itself through its multi-layered portrayal of community dynamics. Episodes frequently interlace storylines involving neighbors whose interactions oscillate between conflict and cooperation, humor and pathos, demonstrating how proximity, shared space, and daily encounters shape relationships. A vivid example is the recurring motif of the communal garden, a microcosm for broader themes of collaboration, jealousy, and reconciliation, which becomes a stage for both comedic misunderstandings and profound reflection on shared human experience. Social commentary is seamlessly integrated, with the series addressing economic pressures, cultural identity, and neighborhood cohesion through scenarios that feel authentic rather than didactic. One episode explores the struggles of a new immigrant family moving into the building, highlighting generational differences, communication barriers, and the subtle negotiation of cultural norms, all conveyed with a sensitivity that enriches the show's narrative depth while maintaining humor and accessibility. The cinematography reinforces the series' psychological and thematic ambitions, employing lingering close-ups, dynamic tracking shots, and careful composition to foreground character interactions and emotional nuance. For instance, a scene depicting Mary consoling a neighbor in crisis uses depth-of-field shifts and warm lighting to emphasize intimacy and human connection, demonstrating a keen understanding of visual storytelling as a complement to dialogue. Music and sound design are employed with equal care. The series alternates between diegetic sounds, the hum of daily life, the laughter of children, the clatter of utensils, and an original score that underscores emotional beats, shifts in tension and narrative. Climaxes, effectively guiding audience perception without ever overshadowing the performance or dialogue. Character psychology is a central focus of 227 Show 2025. The series takes the time to explore motivation, emotional complexity, and cognitive dissonance, particularly in scenes of domestic or social conflict. For example, Mary's negotiation of her daughter's adolescent rebellion is depicted not simply as a parent-child conflict, but as an intricate interplay of self-concept, moral expectation, and social signaling, with nuanced facial expressions, subtle gestures, and carefully timed pauses revealing as much as the dialogue itself. Humor is often interwoven with these psychological insights, resulting in comedy that is as much about empathy and recognition as it is about surprise or exaggeration. Albert's frequent misunderstandings and minor calamities are portrayed not as caricature, but as extensions of his desire for approval, connection, and agency, illustrating the series' commitment to character-driven narrative. The writing demonstrates remarkable structural sophistication, employing parallel narratives, foreshadowing, and symbolic motifs to create a tapestry of meaning that rewards attentive viewing. Small details such as the placement of objects, background interactions, and recurring visual cues often carry thematic significance, enriching the audience's understanding of relational dynamics, personal growth, and communal identity. Interpersonal relationships within the show are depicted with extraordinary realism. Conflicts are rarely resolved simplistically. Rather, the series explores negotiation, compromise, and mutual understanding as ongoing processes, reflecting the complexity of real-life social interaction. A notable sequence involves a disagreement over a shared hallway space, which escalates from mild annoyance to full-blown tension before resolving through dialogue, humor, and empathetic action, demonstrating the show's skill in transforming mundane situations into narrative vehicles for insight and reflection. The series also tackles broader social and ethical questions. Storylines involving economic uncertainty, healthcare dilemmas, and community activism are embedded in the domestic sphere, emphasizing how individual choices intersect with structural realities. In one powerful episode, Mary organizes a community fundraiser to support a neighbor facing unexpected medical expenses, a narrative that blends humor, tension, and emotional catharsis while highlighting themes of solidarity, moral responsibility, and civic engagement. The pacing of 227 Show 2025 is meticulously calibrated. Fast-moving comedic sequences alternate with slower, contemplative moments, allowing viewers to process emotional content, appreciate character nuance, and reflect on thematic undercurrents. The series demonstrates an acute awareness of rhythm, knowing when to accelerate for comic effect and when to pause for introspection, ensuring that each episode maintains narrative momentum while preserving emotional resonance. Visual aesthetics, including color palette, set decoration, and costuming, serve not only as stylistic choices, but as extensions of character identity and psychological insight. Warm tones and personalized decor in Mary's apartment evoke comfort, history, and maternal presence, while cooler, more muted palettes in transitional or tense sequences underscore conflict, uncertainty, or introspection. Recurrent motifs such as family photographs, mementos, and shared meals anchor narrative continuity and reinforce themes of memory, identity, and relational connection. Dialogue remains consistently layered and dynamic. Characters speak in ways that reveal history, aspiration, tension, and humor, with linguistic variation signaling age, social position, and cultural background. One particularly effective scene involves a debate over neighborhood noise regulations, where sharp wit, subtle sarcasm, and empathetic listening combine to create both humor and ethical reflection, demonstrating the writer's skill in balancing entertainment with social observation. The series' approach to generational difference is particularly sophisticated. By juxtaposing Mary's pragmatic, experience-driven worldview with her granddaughter's aspirational, technology-savvy perspective, the show explores evolving cultural norms, value systems, and modes of communication, creating moments of humor, tension, and insight that resonate with diverse audiences. 227 Show 2025 also demonstrates masterful use of spatial storytelling. The apartment complex functions as both setting and character, with hallways, stairwells, and communal spaces facilitating encounters, misunderstandings, and alliances. Movement through these spaces is choreographed to emphasize relational dynamics, social hierarchies, and narrative rhythm, reinforcing the interdependence of character, environment, and story. Music as a narrative tool enhances both emotional depth and comedic timing. The integration of contemporary songs, diegetic sound, and original scoring supports character development, punctuates key moments, and underscores thematic resonance, from tender family interactions to high-energy comedic sequences. In addition, the series frequently explores moral ambiguity and ethical complexity. Characters are confronted with dilemmas that challenge personal integrity, social norms, and relational loyalties, with outcomes rarely simplistic or predictable. This ethical nuance elevates the series beyond conventional sitcom fare, inviting critical engagement and reflection. Humor, while central, is often employed with subtlety and sophistication. Wordplay, situational irony, and character-specific quirks are deployed to illuminate personality, relational dynamics, and social commentary, creating layered comedic moments that reward attentive viewers and enhance narrative depth. The show's ensemble cast demonstrates remarkable chemistry, with improvisation occasionally enriching scenes and lending authenticity to character interactions. Subplots involving minor characters are thoughtfully integrated, contributing to world building, thematic exploration, and narrative texture without detracting from primary story arcs. Visual storytelling, from framing to gesture, lighting to spatial composition, is leveraged to convey subtext, emotional resonance, and relational nuance, allowing the audience to perceive layers of meaning beyond spoken dialogue. The series also excels in portraying resilience and adaptation. Characters encounter setbacks, social tension, and personal challenges, yet the narrative emphasizes agency, empathy, and resourcefulness, illustrating heroism in quotidian acts and relational perseverance. Symbolism and recurring visual motifs reinforce thematic cohesion. Objects, gestures, and environmental cues acquire layered significance over time, with seemingly minor details serving as catalysts for reflection, humor, or emotional revelation. Overall, 227 Show 2025 succeeds in delivering a rich, multidimensional experience that balances laughter with introspection, situational comedy with psychological realism, and individual character growth with communal narrative complexity. By foregrounding empathy, relational intelligence, and social observation within a humorous and accessible framework, the series affirms the enduring value of thoughtful storytelling, character-driven narrative, and authentic representation of contemporary family life. Its ability to navigate emotional nuance, cultural relevance, and interpersonal dynamics with humor, warmth, and sophistication positions it as a landmark achievement in modern television. A show that not only entertains but also enlightens, engages, and resonates profoundly with its audience.